third, basically offensive turnovers. He kept saying that to the media, which tells me he's a bit of a sort of an analysis and stats nerd. And so am I, you know me, so I like that. Anyway, that's story one, letting you know about the formation and personnel choice. Let's move on to the next story in today's video. And this one's kind of sad. Young Billy Gilmour likely to be pushing for a loan in the next few days out of Chelsea to basically ensure he gets enough playing time so that he can try and seal his place for the Euros this summer, because he will need game time. Now this is kind of sad because Billy Gilmour not only is should be playing in the Euros, he's good enough to start in this Chelsea team. In my opinion, if you watch this channel and if you watch my content on football therapy, you'll know how highly I, talk and think and feel about Billy Gilmour. I think also he could be perfect under Thomas Tuchel playing underneath him. I think he could be like his Scottish Verratti. Like, small in stature, can stick a tackle in, very progressive in terms of pressing and moving the ball forwards. I see a lot of Verratti in Billy Gilmour. Verratti's a world-class midfielder. So it's really, really sad. I can kind of understand why he'd want to push for it. And also, I don't, lay any blame necessarily at Tuchel's door. He's got a bloated squad with a lot of senior midfielders, and one of his first jobs he has to do is create unity in the squad and harmony to move forwards, so everyone's moving in the same direction. And that actually is a fine balance of keeping everyone happy and maybe playing kids that are really good. You got to mould the squad first. So although personally I think Billy Gilmour would actually be a perfect fit for Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea and for Thomas Tuchel's ideology of football, I could sort of understand if he goes out on loan. It's highly disappointing because Frank Lampard's last press conference, he was asked about this from Matt Law of The Telegraph, and he said, look, it was open, but if he's playing like this for me, of course he can't go on loan because look at the effect he has on the team. I mean, Frank Lampard finished that comment with, we're keeping it open, because personally, I think maybe he might have already knew he was going to be sacked by then, or knew there was a high chance, like it was likely. So maybe he wants to say, oh, I don't want to say definitively because I don't want to do anything to damage this club, even if I'm going or cause trouble, because, that's what Frank Lampard is like. So it's difficult. Let me know what you think about Billy Gilmour down in the comment section below. I think it would be very, very sad to see him go out on loan, but maybe it's the easiest thing for the new coach in terms of, like I said, squad harmony, and maybe he can get the best out of other players. Although saying that, watching Jorginho, I don't want to slander Jorginho, but for me, he's not for this Chelsea team anymore. I understand he's a good character, he trains well, he is good at football in certain systems, in Sarri ball, he's good metronomic passing the ball. I think also it suited him yesterday to just keep moving the ball, but ultimately we couldn't break down the team and score a goal, so I'd much prefer Billy Gilmour character in there personally. Let me know your thoughts, get down in the comment section, talk about Billy Gilmour as we move on to the next story in today's video. Sticking on midfielders that Thomas Tuchel might like, another thing that caught my attention was his comments on N'Golo Kante, who is of course injured at the moment, and you would have expected him to start yesterday had he been fit. Thomas Tuchel explained how he is a massive fan of N'Golo Kante. Frank Lampard said something similar when he came to Chelsea, and he said he's been trying for years, for a long time, to get N'Golo Kante in his teams. Basically, PSG were trying to sign him for a long time, and this is confirmation from the boss of PSG, Thomas Tuchel, that he was trying to use Paris Saint-Germain's incredible wealth to try and buy N'Golo Kante for his Paris Saint-Germain side. He wanted to bring him to the capital, he wanted to buy him. He said he's been chasing after him for years, and now he has him. He just had to come to Chelsea to have him. So that's positive. Getting the best out of N'Golo Kante is essentially getting the best out of your team in many ways and winning titles maybe. And Kante, I don't think he's 30 yet, is he? He's 29, I believe. So, Tuchel will try and, if Tuchel is only at Chelsea for 2 years, maybe he can squeeze the best out of N'Golo Kante while he's here. Will he play? To be honest, I probably think he'll play a midfield 2 and put Kante in there if that's the case. And maybe that's, that is how you get the best out of Kante historically. At Leicester, at Conte's Chelsea, he was always in a 2-man midfield. Yes, he can play as a lone 6. We've seen that under Frank Lampard. And he can play as a sort of 8, sort of a hybrid 8, played that under Sarri and indeed Lampard. He can do all of that, But personally, I think Thomas Tuchel would look to play N'Golo Kante in a two-man midfield and try and get the best out of him there. Chelsea are going to try and keep the ball in the opposition half under Thomas Tuchel. That's what he says. He says he didn't seem overexcited about the amount of passes, although Chelsea broke the record for passes this season against Wolves last night in the Premier League. I think that he's looking to do that. Defending in possession is great, but I think he just wants to play the game of football in the opposition half. But in that case, you're always vulnerable to transitions. But Thomas Tuchel will know that. He's a great tactician. Of course, Frank Lampard in his first season, Chelsea were massively vulnerable to that and kept conceding goals. Granted, we got a little bit better at it, but Thomas Tuchel will be, absolutely astute in protecting his team from this, And N'Golo Kante would be integral to that. To be honest, I'm really looking forward to what he comes up with next. It's a shame we're playing Burnley straight away, because I think the approach would be rather similar to what we saw against Wolves. Although Burnley are in scintillating form, they're out here beating Liverpool, they're beating an in-form Aston Villa that played really, really well, and they'll look to do the same against Chelsea, Burnley. So Thomas Tuchel has to use these precious days that he's now got on the training pitch, which was not afforded to him before the Wolves game, and put something together. Look at Burnley, look at how they defeated Liverpool, who obviously are a high possession good team like Chelsea, and be like, right, this is how we do it. We beat Burnley, we move, we march on. Anyway, what do you guys think? I'm really keen to hear your thoughts and opinions on Thomas Tuchel's tactical setup and midfield options. Do you think has to start N'Golo Kante? Do you think it would be sad to see Billy Gilmour go? Who do you think would be prominent players in this setup under Thomas Tuchel? I mean, it's easy to say Havertz, Pulisic and Werner, and now N'Golo Kante, of course, but who else do you think will end up playing? Do you think Kepa will end up playing for his footballing ability with his feet? Who knows, eh? Get down in the comment section below, I'll be down there reading your thoughts. Please do drop a like on the video, it helps me out a lot. Consider subscribing to this channel if you're new. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life, seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.
Watch the kickoff for free, live every single weekend, only on Twitch. The link is in the description below.
It was 1-0 against Villa, and I switched off at 1-0. I put it in the group chat with you. I said, there's no point in watching this team anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely...
Terrible moment,
I don't understand how to explain this to other football fans out there. I don't know if you have ever been there, but I genuinely just was like, why do I do, like, what is the point in this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not going anywhere. We're just waiting to be relegated. It's a case of Steve Bruce might get sacked. I mean, if anyone at the club wakes up and realises how shit he is, we might get lucky. Otherwise, it'll be too late. It'll be Steve McLaren 2.0, where we finally bring in Rafa and it's time to get relegated or whatever,
Do you think you can go down?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you look at the form, the teams below us, and to eye test, they're playing better, they're getting more results than us. We will go down if we keep Steve Bruce. We let Sheffield United beat us.
That's worrying.
Yeah.
That's worrying.
When we played Sheffield United, this is the thing. When we played Liverpool, because we're frightened, everyone had their tails up. Everyone was working hard. Everyone knew if we don't put a shift in today, because how shit we are, we're going to get absolutely destroyed. Yep. Against Aston Villa, Sheffield United, Arsenal, we showed absolutely nothing. And the mental, this is the bit where, like, I've called Steve Bruce a coward on this show, because in previous weeks, he'll avoid the truth in an interview. He's lying to himself, to the fans, going, we'll be fine. I'm not one to turn down the challenge. I've seen enough. And I said he was a coward for that. But that interview he gave after that last game, he said, I've seen more than enough to be encouraged by it. The whole fan base is watching it going, we are so shit. That I haven't seen a single positive tweet in any way, shape or form. I haven't had a conversation of anyone. He's out of touch with reality, this guy. Like, I've never seen a manager's interview be so unreflective of the actual game, maybe in my life. Like, I was actually feeling sorry for him. Like, you're kind of pathetic. Like, you're so out of your depth and you're so grateful for a Premier League job that you're now literally lying to the cameras and telling everyone, well, I've seen enough to be positive about, and there's plenty, you know, and when St Maximin ran on the pitch, I was encouraged by that. Like, you sound like a dithering old... He sounds like he's got dementia or something. He sounds like a man who should be put in hospital. We've got to look after this guy.
This isn't the
It's
first
not
time,
reality, man.
But this isn't the first time that you and I have spoken about Steve Bruce's pre- or post-match press conferences, is it? Remember
absolutely
earlier on in the
ridiculous.
season when we did the preview, and he was basically given a load of softballs and basically got to say whatever he wanted, and no one really held him to account.
Well, actually, I've just pulled this up because there was an interesting one where, you know, he was asked about if any boss could be successful under Mike Ashley, and he said, what would you gauge as success? Last year, I matched Rafa's tally of points. He was a world-class manager. Where did he finish? Is that success? I matched the mighty Rafa. And I'm like, you're so petty and silly that you're having a go at the man who his shadow looms large over you. You're trying to put Rafa down.
There's a big golfing class between
mate,
them two. Like,
when you're starting to try and put another manager down to make yourself look better, you're dead.
there's
You're dead.
there's that always saying in there, if another man has to bring another man down, he's only projecting his insecurities onto his job, his role, whatever.
Yeah.
So you can obviously tell he's just trying to lie to himself to convince himself that, do you know what, maybe next week we'll perk up.
Well, what was interesting is one of the Newcastle accounts took his words to task, and basically I'll just read a couple of the things they said. Like, Rafa got the club promoted as champions. We then finished 10th with a promoted side. Only two clubs, Wolves and Sheffield United, of the last 30 promoted managers have finished higher than what Rafa did with the promoted side. Not to mention, Bruce was then given 110 million net spend. Rafa's lineup cost 38 million. Bruce lineup cost 100 million. Rafa net spend minus 11 million. Bruce net spend 110 million. Like, Rafa, this is the thing. A lot of these, and this is what really does fuck me off, these fucking pricks on Sky and BT sticking up for Steve Bruce, right? Saying, oh, doing the same as Rafa, doing the same as Rafa. Context, mate. Look into the details. This random Newcastle fan account has just laid it all bare, and yet you motherfuckers are paid a fortune from Sky, and Jamie Redknapp is sitting there before the Sheffield United game going, don't know what Newcastle fans are complaining about. The football was bad under Rafa as well. By the way, I think Sheffield United are going to win this game. Well, if it's that good, why do you think the team without a win in the league is going to beat us? So I'm sick of the fan base getting shafted, and luckily, I think a lot of his mates in the media have gone incredibly quiet lately, because even they're like, oh, we all look dumb right now. We better shut the fuck up.
Absolutely.
This is terrible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is as bad as I've ever seen Newcastle, man. At least, United, under Pardew, there was some talent here and there that you could, like, oh, maybe Cabaye can cross it in. Papi Cisse on his day might just spring into... I look at this team, like, Callum Wilson's out there on his own, and, like, he's got some talent, but, like, you look at this team and you think, God, you guys are so shit. I look at I'm looking at these professional Premier League footballers for my club and thinking, you guys don't even look like League One players the way you're playing right now.
It looks like a championship team. When you look at the team...
If that.
Yeah, I think there's some individuals in there like Callum Wilson. I reckon he probably thinks he made the wrong decision now.
I think Callum Wilson is a bit of a... Yeah, he scored a lot of goals, but he doesn't do much else apart from take penalties. And, you know, if the chances aren't created for him, he's not going to do anything else.
He's a striker.
Which, yeah, is fair enough. But I think people looking at him like, oh, my God, Callum Wilson, bless him. I don't think, you know, there's any of that. I do feel sorry for Steve Bruce. Obviously, I love him. But I do hear what Bry's saying, and I agree, because he's one of my boys, bro. He's a Manchester United legend, and I obviously feel sorry for the predicament that he's in.
Right, but what is that predicament, and why is he in that predicament? Because I'm questioning why you feel sorry for him.
I feel sorry for him because I like him. But
why is that
I'll tell you why I think
yeah.
he's in this predicament, yeah? I don't feel sorry for him for the predicament he's in, obviously. I do think at Newcastle he's got this difficulty of, he is a manager that is literally a manager that is going to try and keep anybody up. He succeeded at Wigan, he succeeded at Sunderland, he succeeded, I think, at Birmingham City as well. He didn't succeed at Aston Villa, he isn't succeeding, and he probably won't succeed at Newcastle. And the reason being is those clubs, Newcastle and Aston Villa, have expectations that are above, we just want to stay in this league. They've come to a club where the expectations of the owner are to stay up, and that's it until he can get a sale. And the expectations of the fans are, we just want to be entertained. We want to be proud of our team. We want to see a team out there. And while people criticise Rafa or say Steve Bruce is like Rafa, that's bollocks. Because when you watch Newcastle under Rafa Benitez, they battled for every ball. I saw a clip, I remember that viral clip of them going around where there was like 10 challenges in like 20 seconds, everyone just thumping in, and the fans were behind it and all that. And I just feel you've appointed a manager that is there to just simply keep them up. That is literally all he's there for. That's all the owners want him to do.
But that's the point. That the owners and the fans aren't on the same page.
It's like me going, Moyes, you're not Fergie. Like,
no,
and taking that out on Moyes, like, I should criticise the board.
I think the definition of success, the definition of success needs to be quantified to determine what sort of job
we
he's
say
doing.
this every time, and we go back to the same thing. Why are we eating shit because Newcastle's owners, like owner, is just saying, well, here, have that. That should be good enough.
But the point I'm making is, I kind of disagree with the perception of the way people look at Newcastle, because it's kind of like we're fully aware why Steve Bruce is here in terms of he's there to keep us up. But the point we're all making right now is that ain't going to happen because he's terrible. If we do stick with Steve Bruce, we will get relegated.
Yes.
Guaranteed.
Agreed.
Guaranteed.
Do you know what?
Maybe not this season,
I
but
think is actually the defining issue here. So it's quite a binary thing, and I think this is where it comes down to it. I don't think it's as clear. I think there is everything you said I agree with up until that point, because I think that Sheffield United are gone, if we agree that. So there's two places that are up for grabs. I don't necessarily think that, as uninspiring as Newcastle are, as average as their management is, as below par as their squad is, I feel like they have a 7-point cushion currently. They only need to match that to stay in the league.
Yeah, but what we're seeing from a Sam Allardyce team is a lot more than Newcastle are showing. What we're seeing from the Fulham team is a lot more than what Newcastle is saying. So that 7 points could go like that. And I don't want to risk Newcastle United. I ain't got money on the line. Mike Ashley has. He should be worrying right now. I've got to fucking act quickly. Otherwise, we're going down.
My point
Cost
about
them a lot
the
of money to
managers
sack him, though.
and
Fuck that.
And the club.
It'll cost you a lot more money if we get relegated and you don't get that fucking club sold.
1 goal in 8 in all of the competitions.
Yeah.
My point about the managers and the clubs and what the clubs expect and what the clubs want was as well that you see when Newcastle appointed Rafa, and he's probably going to make them play in a way that isn't the best on the eye or isn't the most appealing on the eye, but he's going to get results and he's going to galvanise the fans and he's going to do all that. But because Newcastle look at Rafa and think he is above us, the players will then buy into whatever he's doing because they feel like this is an elite manager. Like
It is
I think
an elite manager.
it is. Under Steve Bruce, I feel when you've got fans that are there saying, and correctly so, I'm not saying you're wrong for saying that. When you've got fans that are saying this guy's awful, he's not the one for us, then it's harder for the players to then say or come around to what he wants to do.
So
Do you know what I
I'd
mean?
like to take you
because
up
they
on
feel.
that. Because this is the thing with Newcastle fans. We'll give anyone a chance. Well, if we're seeing enough on the pitch and we understand what's going on, all right, we stay up this season, we get the sale, all right, we can buy. We've wasted fucking decades supporting this club. Why not waste another year to hopefully get somewhere? When we're all seeing the writing on the wall and we're screaming, but we can't be heard because we're not in the fucking stadium. We're on Twitter, we're anywhere we can be, going, you need that now, man. We're going to fucking get relegated for the third time under Mike Ashley. It's happening. How many times do you need to learn this lesson, bro? This isn't as about how Steve Bruce is from the northeast. If anything, that should help it play into him. We're judging him on what we're watching on that pitch. It is nothing to do with Rafa. It is nothing to do with any of the other bullshit out there. What anyone says, the players aren't trying. The players look like shit. And we've seen them look better than that. So if you're not getting the best out of them, Steve, you better get the fuck
So
out.
what's the
Do you think
answer?
he would be gone if there were fans in the ground?
Oh, it would be hard. That they've turned on him months ago because we've seen all of this. He should have been gone when we went out the cup, man. When we played
Brentford, wasn't it?
Brentford, and they passed it round us like we weren't even there. That should have been the moment where the penny dropped. The fact that we then lose to Sheffield United, still no sacking. The fact that we then play the way we have in the last few weeks, and show Jamie Carragher's on commentary going, this is a nothing club sleepwalking into relegation right now. I'm like, you can see it.
That's the problem for Steve Bruce as well. That in this day and age, and it's a reason why I think the leagues are so much closer together between like League Two and Championship now, and it's because the level of coaching amongst some of these younger English coaches that are coming through now. Unless you are a Sam Allardyce who's saying, well, look at my results here, they're fucking bang on. Unless you're a Sam Allardyce, the results of the older school managers that don't play a great style of football or aren't coaching their teams. Like we saw Cheltenham yesterday play against City, and I feel a large part of how they could compete with them for 60, 70 minutes of that game, even though with a little bit of luck, was the level of coaching. And I think you're seeing that at the moment. Whatever, I think he's a man manager, you know what I mean? He tries to get the most
But
out
he's certainly not
and
tactical.
he's
Because I'll tell you
not
what,
doing
right?
it.
I pretty much made my fucking name on YouTube slagging Alan Pardew on, right?
His contract's still going, isn't it?
Right. I swear to God, this is saying something. Alan Pardew was a better manager than Steve Bruce. Like, that is saying something. Alan Pardew occasionally had an idea. When I'd watch a game, I'd go, all right, I see what you're trying to do there. With Bruce, the whole fan base is going, I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. Because there's no evidence of a plan. Like, a classic example, we play Sheffield United, the worst team in the league without a win. We sit back, we play a defensive lineup, we got 5 at the back, we give them the ball, we let them grow in confidence when they've got none to start off with. We literally encourage them to attack us, and then we don't hit them on the counter. Then we play Arsenal, who are more higher in confidence.
Play 2 up front.
And we go for it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then we go for it. You literally got the wrong game plan.
Yeah.
You got it the wrong way around, you fucking idiot.
The team that he played,
What you do?
the team that he played against Newcastle was unbelievable.
Mate,
Because he had Joe Linton on one wing, Almiron on the other wing, and then Carroll and Wilson up front.
Genuinely, he sat there afterwards going, I don't know what went wrong. I should have.
Wrong,
I played the
day.
wrong. We got the Arsenal team for the Sheffield game.
Yeah, I did think that. What's the answer then? Let's say, like devil's advocate, say he's gone in the morning. What then?
He's not.
I mean, that is the. If he isn't though, Mike Ashley, you're playing with fire with your money again. Like, are you not? What do you have to do? You've been relegated twice. What more does it take?
You know when he'll take action when it's like a point to the relegation? I think at the moment he feels, and this is where your problem is, because, look, Steve Bruce, all right, is not the right manager. I think we can all agree on that, whatever the reasons behind it are. Your problem is you've got an owner that probably isn't going to pull the trigger until he thinks, oh my God, we are going to get relegated. Because he's looking at the moment and thinking,
That is too late.
well,
Too late.
them
Way
three,
too late.
Fulham were gone, Sheffield United will go. At the moment, that's what he's thinking.
Mate, I don't care what happened with him and Rafa. He should be begging him on knees, pleading, save us.
So
save us.
Rafa Benitez, according to sources, is not going to go to Celtic, but apparently is also not going to go to Newcastle.
Of course.
Go
Owned
Celtic, man.
by Mike Ashley.
But because of the way it ended between him and Ashley, because Ashley did what he does with everyone, which is treat managers like shit. And this is the mental thing. I make a fucking weekly football show, and I was literally texting my mates going, lads, is there any point watching Newcastle anymore? Like, really? Like,
Didn't text me.
what is the... I genuinely don't know what I get out of it. I was half an hour into the game just going, I'm just bored shitless.
So would you take Eddie Howe?
I mean, I'd roll the dice on him,
I think that's probably the move Eddie Howe has been waiting for, but not with Mike Ashley in charge.
Yeah, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. And we've got half the Bournemouth fucking staff coming. Do you hear this? We got the Bournemouth coach. We're saying, this is how we're going to save the season. We're going to sign a new coach. What the fuck have we got in Steve Bruce?
Well, no, they were actually just saying to you,
headers
hold
in the
on,
box there.
this is going to change, because what you don't know is these guys haven't been coached until now. Imagine what you could do with a coach.
Mate.
Eddie Howe would be a very good sign.
I hope this guy...
I think so. I think so.
I think Eddie Howe would do a good job.
He'd be a bit too. I mean, I'd love to see how mild-mannered he still is.
Well, it wasn't long ago that people were tipping him to replace Wenger.
He looks like a
You know, like there was a time when he was being held in incredibly high esteem.
Well, we're apparently signing... We're after a Bournemouth player right now. We're after the main coach. And then We're just setting it
Do you
up.
remember when Manchester City got their club ready for Pep?
Yeah.
It was like, right, what should we do? Get some Barcelona coaches in. We'll
Right.
sort out the training ground. That's what you're doing.
We're
for
trying to
Eddie
be the
Howe.
new Bournemouth.
Eddie Howe went, treat me as Pep. Treat me like he's
We got a 50,000 seater
Seduce
stadium. We've been a Premier League
Nothing
club.
on the vitality, though, is it?
No.
We've been a Premier League club for decades, and yeah, we're trying to look more like Bournemouth. No offence, Bournemouth. but
Bournemouth
you've
got great parking, you know. It's only a quid. You can park right outside. the
We've
ground.
got more people
It's
watching.
murder to get an away ticket for Bournemouth. That's my issue with it.
You know why?
It's impossible.
We've got more people watching this show right now than Bournemouth have watched them on a football weekend.
That's actually true.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing what? Using my Old Spice moisturized with shea butter body wash?
All I wanted was to use your body wash.
And all I wanted was to have a body wash.
Hi, I'm Peter Streetbolt. You might know me from my YouTube.
The Kickoff, now exclusively live on Twitch. Click the link in the description below.
You know, I was just thinking, it's been years now since I slept with four walls around me. And even longer with four walls and a roof. But I've never been happier. second, that dog will turn and rip your face off. Supplies are running down fast.
Dun 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 Copyright 20th Century Fox. Hello! How y'all doing? Good enough, I hope, this beautiful day. Well, it's actually closer to night now. Guys, I tested it. Everything should work. We should be able to play Bloodborne tonight. How crazy is that? That's going to be fun. What has it been? 3 months? I have no idea how this game is played. No idea. Complete stranger. But we'll give it a shot anyway. You know, we'll see what we can do. I think it'll be fun. I'm sure. I hope everyone's doing okay. Dude, watching this fucking Robinhood stock bullshit while I'm not able to trade because they're still trying to approve me on the app has been so annoying. I got my face pressed up against the glass, you know. I'm crying. Yeah. No, we'll talk. Oh, we'll talk about that. Don't you worry. Maybe I don't want to be on Robinhood. Except I already added 2,000 to my account, so I need to wait for it to approve just so I can withdraw the 2,000. Ugh. What are you gonna do? Use Fidelity? No advice here, folks. Here's a stonk meme I made. I'm sure it's lovely. I hope everyone's doing good. It feels like it's been ages since I've streamed. That's the issue. When I go from a morning stream to a night stream, it's more than 24 hours without me streaming. In the interim, just devastating, folks. Devastating. I don't even know what to do with myself, frankly. But we're here now. Tomorrow, of course, we have a morning stream. I'll be talking with our resident Jen Perelman, I believe. I need to work that out, or I need to confirm that, but I'm pretty sure we are. So that should be fun. And today, the meme is your face in it. Oh, I love my face. Hold on. There we go. This one's good. I'll take it. Good. Good. It's accurate, too. That is my face. For those who can't guess, the text down there says stonks. Anyway, are we ready to briefly catch up with politics before we move forward? Do you think you can handle that? Why are you talking to her? She's like a Jimmy Dore adjacent type. I'll talk to anyone, Nico. I'll talk to literally anybody. The quality of the conversation is determined in those cases by me. I talked to Tim Pool. I disagree with Tim Pool about plenty of stuff. I love talking with people I disagree with. I hate talking to people I agree with. It's so boring. How often do we do that on this channel? The circle jerks. You bring someone on, you're like, yeah, Trump and capitalism bad. Yeah, you know, when you said Trump and capitalism bad, it really reminded me of how bad capitalism is. You ever read Marx? Nah, I haven't read Marx. Have you? Nah, I haven't either. Just asking. Yeah, but you know, I'm pretty sure he said capitalism bad. Yeah, capitalism is pretty bad. Like, fuck me, dude. I can't do the circle jerks. It's too much. It hurts my heart. Do you have an opinion on Jamie from Majority Report? I imagine my opinion on Jamie is as negative as Jamie's opinion on myself. When will you invite Kyle Kulinski? We should have Kyle Kulinski on sometime soon. Yeah. You gonna talk about Kraut? No. No point. Please raise awareness on how the SEC is trying to stop us from buying stocks.
Experts are now saying they expect the SEC.
Stop. Why do TikTok videos autoplay? Why?
To step in with GameStop. You see, the SEC is supposed to be able to protect investors, and they also want to maintain orderly and efficient markets. What a joke. But a former securities attorney said this is pretty cut and dry. The SEC has to act. Now, what are they looking to do? This guy, Robert Cross, said he believes the SEC is about to ban outsider trading, and a lot of people agreed with him. Shameless Twitter plug here. Now, I don't think he means actually outsider trading in the strict definition of the term.
That was a joke.
Technically, when the SEC talks about this, they're talking about if I were to break into a company and steal secret files and then trade stock based on what I had found out. I'm not technically an insider, but an outsider. Here, and there are rumors of this, that the SEC is discussing not allowing third-party apps like Robinhood to allow regular people like you or me to invest. See, the SEC is trying to rig the market against you. In crypto, we've known that for a long time. Come down the rabbit hole with me.
Okay, yeah, this is a Bitcoin TikTok. I really don't think this is a good source of information, okay? This is okay. This sounds really mean, but it's a general rule. If a person ever mentions Bitcoin, you don't have to listen to them ever again about anything. Okay? Like anybody who talks about cryptocurrency or blockchain or Bitcoin or any of that bullshit with like a serious affirmative tone is probably somebody you don't need to pay that much attention to. That whole there's some massive fucking brain warps going on over there. Bitcoin is worth so much right now. Yeah, Bitcoin sells for a lot, but it's worth nothing. It's like a speculative investment that people engage in for short gains. It's never going to be a currency. And that's fine. If you want to make cryptocurrencies and basically just use them as like fun gambling tools that you can bet on, sure, fine, fucking whatever. That if you want to. But like right now, the idea that it's some sort of revolutionary currency that's going to like upheave the market, it's not true. Yeah. I'm not rhetorically gifted, but this is not true. No. What I said is completely true. You can't have a currency that's volatile. It's ridiculous. You can't. You mean like fiat? No, it's not. It's not even a nothing. Never mind. I say no. We're not getting into this conversation. We're not getting into this conversation. That's okay. We could save that one for later. Because people who are into crypto are really into crypto. They are heavily. Why is everyone calling you a lib on Twitter? Because it's the same reason they always call me a lib on Twitter. Because I know more than them and it makes them angry and insecure. What are you gonna do? Oh yeah, I fucking love mints, bro. God, mints are so fucking good. You guys ready for some populist rhetoric? You ready for it? You ready to feel like you're part of the revolution? All right. Let's fucking go. Why does Jamie have a bad opinion? You probably the same reason every other leftist online has a bad opinion of me. If you've been online anytime in the past 48 hours, you're probably at least a little bit caught up, or at least you're aware of the nonsense that is happening with GameStop and with the stock market and with Robinhood. And, you know, I talked a little bit about the technicalities of that, and I say technicalities very loosely in my previous video. You know what? Let's talk about the politics, baby, okay? Because they are trying to fuck you right now. They are, I've said this before, by the way, the greatest radicalizers, the greatest agents of pulling people to the left, these are the wealthy. These are the bourgeois. These are the traders. These are the big fat cats, okay? Because nothing gets people to despise capitalism quite like coming face to face with how fucking rigged it is. One of the worst, I don't know, what would you call it, brain poisons the American people have been fed is the myth of a meritocracy. It's very common amongst conservatives, but even liberals buy into it from time to time. The idea that, you know, you got some issues, but for the most part, the economy it affords everyone by roughly the same opportunities. Sure, if you're born to a billionaire parent, you got a little bit of advantage, but at the end of the day, you know, the cream rises to the top and the chaff sinks. It's a myth. It's a narrative. It's a very convenient narrative too, because it means sort of implicitly that anybody who's super wealthy and powerful deserves to be there, and anybody who's super poor and not powerful deserves to be there. It's really, really great. It's suppressing people's desire to change society. So, hedge funds are a big old block of money, investors, who engage in high-risk trades to make more money. Sometimes high risk, sometimes medium risk, whatever. That's their job. They're money-making machines. You put in money, you try to get out more money. That's how it works, hedge funds. That's how it is. Do they produce anything? No. Do they contribute to society in any way? No. Are all the people employed by these hedge funds or who own these hedge funds obscenely wealthy? Yes. Okay, that's how it is. What are you going to do? Now, the market, the American stock market, well, whole world over, actually, has been kind of a shit show since day one. if you give wealthy people the ability to engage in speculation and sort of tip the scales of the financial market and do whatever they can to make money, then you get really silly stuff happening, like the 2008 financial crash with subprime mortgages being packaged in with other blah, 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 blah. It gets really complicated. Let's focus on the basics, okay? The basics are that at the end of the day, most of our economy is at least in part influenced by a very small group of very silly people who like gambling. That's basically how it works. But some intrepid heroes on the internet, they decided to get in on the game. The short of it is that the subreddit Wall Street Bets engaged collectively in an investment action which fucked over some hedge funds. The specifics, again, previous video, but to this, right now at this moment, I believe the total amount of money that's been lost by those hedge funds is around $70 billion. 70 capital B. An enormous amount of money has been stripped from these hedge funds, from the capital class, and essentially redistributed, at least amongst some people who invested. Now, I'm not going to pretend, as some people have, that this is some grand redistribution of wealth. In reality, a lot of the people who are engaging in these fund investments are themselves wealthy. What this really is just sticking it to hedge funds. And let's leave it at that, okay? There's nothing wrong with sticking it to hedge funds. In fact, I'd say that's pretty much the meaning of life, really. That's what we're left with. But here's the issue, folks. Even though it may be the case that for decades and decades and centuries, those people, the wealthy, the plutocrats, have been free to gamble with the stock market to their heart's fucking content, they don't like it when we do it. Which means we have seen an immediate and severe blowback from the government and from the financial industry with the aim of preventing people like us from engaging in that type of behavior. It began, more or less, as such. This is Robinhood, one of the major apps for trading stocks. In light of current market volatility, we are restricting transactions for certain securities to position closing only, including AMC and GameStop. Read more here. Essentially, one of the largest apps for trading stocks, and others followed, prevented people from buying certain stocks. Now, that's a big fucking problem. Because in addition to them doing that, there was also messaging being pushed out on traditional media, newspapers, saying that those hedge funds had pulled out of their investment in GameStop stock, which they hadn't. They were corroborating with the media to try to get people to sell. Because the more people sell, the less money the hedge funds lose. And now the apps are getting in on it. They're preventing people from buying. They're manipulating the market. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I'm a lawyer. Right now, our financial system is fucked beyond belief. I genuinely don't know what is and is not illegal. So instead, we're going to describe how 1984 something is, okay? The more 1984 it is, the worse it is. Is it illegal? Is it not? I don't know. That's not my job. But it is 1984. That is a thing that it is. Well, somewhat. So the apps through which people can trade and some elements of the media corroborate to press back against the right of individual Americans to engage in investments however they like. They backed the hedge funds, and quickly things got worse. I mean, you can see the backlash right here. 24,000 quote tweets, but it doesn't just end with being ratioed on Twitter. None other than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, our beloved queen of socialism, has claimed that we need a congressional investigation into the efforts on the part of Robinhood and other similar institutions to determine whether or not they're engaging in market manipulation, which I think they are. You know, that's my personal opinion. I want to show you a clip real quick. Here, I want you to watch it. I don't even need to put earbuds in because I've listened to it so many times while jerking off, okay? Here's a hedge fund investor, Leon Cooperman. I'm pretty sure this guy's been charged in the past with financial crimes. You know, real upstanding guy. Anyway.
The reason the market is doing what it's doing is people are sitting at home, getting the checks from the government, okay? And this fair share is a bullshit concept. It's just a way of attacking wealthy people, and, you know, I think it's inappropriate. We all got to work together and pull together.
That's what they think of you. That is the seething fucking contempt with which they regard you. One of the wealthiest men around, unbelievably powerful, in part responsible for the 2008 financial crash, basically just a moral disaster of a human being, and he's mad because you people now have the audacity to do what they do. Robinhood has defended its decision to close down people's ability to buy stock by saying they're trying to limit market volatility. Have they ever done that before? I ask you, have any of these enterprises ever shut down people's ability to buy stock to prevent hedge funds from engaging in activities which increase market volatility? No. Nah. Or at the, well, hold on. Actually, I should clarify that. Nothing at this level. The volatility of the stock market is just something we've gotten used to expecting. That's just something that we kind of got used to. What was all the language after the 2008 financial crash? First of all, nobody got held accountable. Like, not even... You collapsed the world's fucking economy, okay? These people should have been tried at The Hague, all right? But we didn't. To what extent are these people being held accountable? Very little. Yes. AOC is live on Twitch. That is true. And really, the speed with which the financial industry fucking Dragon Ball Z, what's the term? You know, when they do the dance, the fusion dance, and they do the dance together and they merge, you know? The speed with which they came together to shut this problem down was pretty impressive, you know? It was pretty astonishing, I would say. Indicative of a bias, perhaps. Hold on. Vosh, please, you're wrong about this. Robinhood had no choice in stopping the trades. They were forced to by Citadel, who runs all their trades. And Citadel is a... hedge fund. I don't, so I can see what I think is being cited here. Citadel shoots down Robinhood link. Wait, hold on. Oh, hold on. The hedge fund Citadel LLC and the market maker Citadel Securities say they had nothing to do with the app Robinhood suspending some trading in stocks that have recently experienced a surge in volatility. Ah, okay. Well, there we go. Hey, whether they do or don't, I don't give a fuck. Whether it's done by the app, whose largest clients are hedge funds, or whether it's just being done by a hedge fund, what fucking difference does it make? They're on the same team. Legitimately, who cares? They're on the same team. Is there like a major difference to be expressed here? No, I don't think so. But things have gone even farther than this. If you can believe it. Now, I don't know what's illegal or not illegal, but if this turns out to be the case, and I've seen this corroborated across multiple sources, if this turns out to be the case, this has to be illegal. Robinhood forcing people to sell their shares. Shares they own, they're just force selling them. Now, again, I don't know if that's illegal. In my mind, this should be illegal. You own those shares. I don't know what right Robinhood would have to force you to sell them so that the hedge funds who own Robinhood can get their stocks back at a lower price. They sold my AMC stock. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying this. If that's not illegal, then oh shit. I can't tell you whether or not that's illegal, okay? But that is so 1984. That is 1985. Okay? That is a level beyond. And you know what? Even if it's illegal to do that, and even if they get charged, you know what's going to happen? They're going to get a fine, and that fine is going to be worth less than 1/100th of the amount of money they saved by depressing the price of the GameStop stock. They're going to get fined, and it's going to be nothing compared to the amount of money they saved by forcing people to sell their stocks. You know that old phrase, the last capitalist we hang shall be the one who sells us the rope, or something like that. There's meaning to that. It's not just about political violence, which I disavow entirely. The meaning of that saying is that capitalism sows the seeds of its own demise. And I have to tell you, folks, the number of people online who have been losing their fucking mind over this has been significant, and nothing makes me happier than seeing the people of this country radicalized against the plutocratic Wall Street robber barons who so clearly and so contemptuously want us out of their play yard, okay? That's what they want. They want to be able to frolic with their multi-billionaire friends. They want to be able to play. They want to be able to do whatever they want. They crash the world economy. Yeah, whatever. You know, they've got friends in Washington. It doesn't matter. Nobody's actually going to come after them. You know, there's, yeah, they crashed the world economy again. But it's okay. They got friends in Washington. All these dinosaurs are 85 years old. They've had enough time in their lives to make enough friends to insulate them against the consequences of 100 financial crashes. And they keep going and they keep going. But then, some gamers rise up. Some gamers rise up. And all of a sudden, they lose their fucking mind. They lose their mind. Because they don't want to establish that precedent. The stock market is controlled and dictated by an elite group of people who play by their own rules, very little consequences. And there's a sort of gentleman's agreement they settle on as well. If they engage in incredibly destructive trades to other hedge funds, to other industries, then the people that they share their Tuesday brunches with get really cross with them. So they trade and they all try to make as much money as they can. But you'll find if you really look at how these investments go, they're not trying to make money off of each other so much as they're trying to make money off the rest of the country. These people produce literally nothing. They don't in any way, shape, or form contribute to the wealth of this country in terms of its material production or services or anything. They don't do things. They're middlemen. They make money off everyone else. And the games they play are not designed to make money off each other, but off of us. So when we play, who are we to take money from but them? That's what scares them. They can play safe. When we play, they aren't. And so they're going to do everything they can. The Biden administration said they were keeping an eye on the situation. Will more legislation come out? Are they legitimately going to make an effort to legislate to prevent this from happening in the future? Even though this is what they've been doing for ages and ages? I genuinely don't know. I don't know. But I know that a lot of people are very angry, and that's good for us. Yeah, as Mark said, power to the players. It's pretty spooky stuff. It really is. When you legitimately think about the extent to which these people have a stranglehold on society. But, as is the case, you know, Atlas, man, it's incredible how much she got it wrong. Was the non-philosopher. Come on, she wrote bad literature. Bioshock, help me out. Ayn Rand, thank you, Jesus. The world does not rest on the shoulders of Atlas, okay? Of a bunch of technocrat billionaires, okay? You know what happens if all the technocrat billionaires in the world disappear one day? Their secretary or whoever's directly underneath him takes over the company, like nothing else. That's it. Very small, very brief shift in power. You know what happens if the working population of the world disappears? The fucking world disappears along with it, okay? We are Atlas. And I say we, I guess, a little bit broadly because I am a live streamer. But we are Atlas. Bosch, please, you're making yourself look really dumb here. Really? Tell me how. Jackrabbit, I'm looking at your chats and your chat specifically. I look forward to an elucidating clarification the next time you post. I want to see. Robinhood had to stop the trades because they don't have enough collateral to back the trades. Fuck Robinhood, fuck the funds, but they'd go bankrupt if they didn't stop people from buying out options on GME. That's tough. That's super rough. I don't know if that's true, by the way, like, at all. Like, yeah. I don't think that's the case. I can look more into it, but I tried to brush up on it quite a bit before today's stream, and because usually when stuff like this happens, there are like a bunch of excuses that are thrown out there, but I haven't been able to find any like real ones. It really does seem like pretty plainly that that they just wanted their money. Bosch, the Robinhood CEO guy, said it was not a liquidity issue. Well, yeah, then I don't know. Pretty wild stuff, huh? Don't give them excuses, by the way. Don't make it easier for them. Insiders say the White House was involved in Robinhood stopping the buying. That wouldn't surprise me. This whole thing is nice and all, but it'll hurt real honest people who own multiple votes. What can we do about this right now? I'll talk about that in just a second. I just want to make it clear to you guys, like, it is entirely possible that the system as it exists can't like effectively accommodate the behavior of Wall Street bets or of gamers rising up, so to speak. Are you going to make those excuses for them? What do you say about a system that allows billionaires to trade billions to the expense of the entire country, but then collapses the moment other people get involved at the expense of the hedge funds? Like, don't be ridiculous here. If there are some technicalities that they believe justifies their behavior, then I'm sure they'll cock those excuses up soon enough. They'll concoct them. I'm interested in seeing them. Yeah. But yeah. Oh, one last thing that I want to say, by the way. One last thing that I want to say. Please remember, please remember, okay, that this is not a bubble necessarily, but like soon a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money off of their GameStop stocks. Fuck, that's hard to say. They're going to. This will pop eventually. And it will be detrimental to a lot of people who are invested in GameStop and in AMC and likewise and so forth. It's effectively a bubble. So please, do not go fucking dumping all of your dosh into this in some misguided belief that it's a surefire investment. Please do not do that. This channel is not financial advice. I am infinitely more interested in the socioeconomic implications of the situation than I am treating this like some get-rich-quick scheme, because that's not what it is. Yeah, it's gambling. It's always gambling. It never won't be gambling. Hold on. CEO of Robinhood, Vlad Tenev. Wow, this guy looks like a vampire. Took an interview with CNBC and lied through his teeth from start to end. Oh shit, let's watch it. Maybe we'll get some of the misinformed people in chat some sources. Look at how much of a vampire this guy looks like.
Bring in the CEO of Robinhood.
Dude.
Vlad Tenev is with us right now.
This guy's literally a fucking vampire. Are you kidding me?
Now, and we appreciate you joining us on a day where there are so many questions. And as Melissa just said, there are, frankly, as you know, a lot of angry customers out there and a lot of questions about what took place and the decisions that you made to limit so many of your customers' ability to buy stocks like GameStop.
He voted Trump? Whoa. The CEO of an app run by hedge funds where people can trade stock voted for Trump? No way.
Questions about whether you have a liquidity problem, whether you're trying to protect them from themselves, whether Citadel did this. Explain what happened today.
Thank you for having me on the show again, Andrew. So what happened today was, as you pointed out, we had to make a very difficult decision. It's been a challenging day. We made the decision in the morning to limit the buying of about 13 securities on our platform. So to be clear, customers could still sell those.
So by limit the buying, he means halt buying altogether.
Securities if they had positions in them. And they could also trade in the thousands of other securities on our platform. So it was a difficult decision, and that's what we had to do as part of normal operations.
Normal operations. Bullshit. Oh yeah, just normal operations. Guys, buying and selling stock isn't like buying and selling other things, okay? Keeping people from buying a given stock isn't like a store saying, we're not carrying any of this item right now. The way stocks work are the volatility of investments means that being prevented from buying or selling at any point in time can severely financially detriment one party and severely financially benefit another party. It's not something you can do.
But explain then, why did you do this? Did the SEC call you and tell you you had to do this? Was there a problem inside the company in terms of liquidity, in terms of the amount of deposits that you had to put it in front to the exchanges? What led to this?
Sure, and let me explain exactly how this works. First of all, I want to address some of the misinformation that's been out there because there's a lot of it. We absolutely did not do this at the direction of any market maker.
That's not exactly how buying and selling shares work because you have a limited amount of shares. Well, when you're buying or selling any commodity, there's a limited number of them as well. Like, if you're buying chairs from a store, there are a limited number of chairs. The finite nature of these items are preserved in other commodities as well. But no, of course, shares are different from buying other things. But that's the point that I was trying to make, that there's a difference because of the way shares work. It's not just like an item with a consistent value that you could return at any point.
Or hedge fund, or anyone we route to, or other market participants. The reason we did it was because Robinhood is a brokerage firm. We have lots of financial requirements, including SEC net capital requirements and clearinghouse deposits. So that's money that we have to deposit at various clearinghouses. So some of these requirements fluctuate quite a bit based on volatility in the markets, and they can be substantial in the current environment.
So this is a grade A, easy bullshit alarm that everyone's head should be ringing with right now. So he cites some non-specific and arbitrary expectations that required him to very specifically shut down purchases of a stock to that ended up protecting billions of dollars for the hedge funds that are his primary customers, okay? You would not believe this in any other industry, okay? In any other industry, if there was collusion this obvious and this direct, nobody would believe this, like, well, there's this, well, it's very complicated, but, you know, nobody would believe this. But he's going to try to take advantage of the complexity of the stock market to get people to believe that he's not on the hook for this, which is, by the way, a strategy that they've used for a very, very long time.
Where there's a lot of volatility and a lot of concentrated activity in these names that have been going viral on social media. So we're really in unprecedented times, and in order to protect the firm and protect our customers, we had to limit buying in these stocks. And to be absolutely clear, Go ahead.
But it sounds to me, though, that you're suggesting that there was a liquidity problem inside the firm. And my question about that then raises all sorts of new questions about whether there's a systemic issue underneath the system and underneath the company unto itself.
No, there was no liquidity problem. And to be clear, this was done preemptively. So we did this proactively, and thousands of other securities remain tradable on the platform. Customers that held these positions,
nobody cares,
were able to sell them.
And no, yeah, of course they were able to sell them because selling them drives down the price, which is the benefit of the hedge funds that you work with. Yeah, of course. Obviously, you allow them to sell. That's what you want them to do. You want them to rack up sell orders so the price plummets, and then when the orders actually go through, everyone's selling GameStop stock for like $2 per, and then you get to prevent your fucking hedge funds from losing a bunch of money.
And we're doing what we can to allow buying and to remove these restrictions in the morning. But also, you might have seen Robinhood has been the #1 app in the App Store overall. So we have seen unprecedented interest due to the fact that finance has been culturally relevant in a way that hasn't been before, and these stocks are going viral on social media. And I think it's really interesting to juxtapose against some of the other questions that we've been having before this. Of course, Robinhood stands for everyday investors. From the very beginning, we have.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's yeah. There's nothing here. Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing here. You're wrong on a lot of stuff here. There are people in chat who are saying that I'm wrong on stuff, but like nobody's explaining what exactly that I'm wrong on. I don't know why there are so many people in chat who are so interested in like defending financial industries on a technicality. It's incredibly strange to me. Even if you could procure like some number of incredibly complex technicalities, which in some way exonerate some elements of some behavior, like you realize you're defending hedge funds, okay? You're defending a company that did like an unprecedented move to preserve money for the hedge funds that it's buddy-buddy with at the expense of like hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of regular people, okay? It's very weird to me. But you know what? Wait, hold on. Bosch, because you said it was some sort of massive obstacle to invest in stocks, when on earth did I ever say... When did I ever say that it was difficult to invest in stocks? When did you hear that? I came in late? Nico, I'm unironically going to ban you if you keep saying stupid shit. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, glory to the people, Godspeed, and yeah, fuck 12. I don't know. Yeah, nicely done. All right, hold on. We're nuking AOC. There we go. So I know a lot of you guys aren't really familiar with streamer culture, but just to let you know, to come into another person's chat and constantly spam that somebody else is live is actually considered super disrespectful. You can probably figure out why if you put like, if you think about it for like a second, you can probably figure out why. But yeah, AOC is live right now. If you want, you should go check out the live stream on Twitch. We're going to talk about the Proud Boys, and then I'm playing Bloodborne. They want you to check it out. What am I going to check out? Hold on. What about the Proud Boys? We're going to talk about people glowing in the dark. Which, AOC...
It's fine on every single app that I use. It's fine on every single other app, but this. Oh, someone said it's focused on the mic.
We're having
the camera's
a boomer
focused
moment.
on the mic. Is that true?
The camera focus.
Is that? Hold on. Is it fine? Okay, I don't know. I'm getting some texts from friends, some saying that I look fine to them. Someone said it might be focused on the mic.
Dude, who wouldn't want to have the mic permanent, or the camera permanently out of focus a little bit so you can't see the pores, okay?
Seems like it's fine. So I'm just gonna... if it's fine to you all, then it's fine to me.
I'll watch for 1 minute.
Anyways, so thank you all for joining so much.
Wait, hold on. Vosh, Robinhood and hedge funds are competitors. They are not colluding. This makes you sound overly conspiratorial. That is not true. There are absolutely hedge funds that have partnered and that are primary customers of Robinhood. Why would you say that?
It focuses really well up here, but it's not focusing out here. What? It's a webcam. It's like that same webcam that everyone else uses. Okay.
Give us something.
It's kind of weird, right? Sorry, guys. How do I adjust this? Why is this not working? It works on camera. It works on Zoom.
Welcome back.
It works on everything else.
Yeah, why would you ever say stuff like
I'm
this?
sorry. I think this is good.
The real money that companies like Robinhood get doesn't come from their customers. or like from the people who use their app. They sell data from the people who use their app to hedge funds. The hedge funds make the real money. All the fucking combined customers of Robinhood together move a fraction of the amount of money that hedge funds move. So like we're just, yeah, we're the consumer data is what we are. Why are there so many people in chat who are just defending hedge funds today?
We got a couple things going on, and a lot has been going on with a lot of different collisions online and on the stock market. GameStop, AMC, Robinhood, Reddit, politics, all of it has just been kind of colliding this week in a pretty remarkable unfolding of events. And what we're
Okay, you can watch her stream if you want, because I'm not gonna fucking piggyback off hers. Vosh, the stocks just being sold by Robinhood thing were margin calls. Robinhood lent money to people to buy stocks, and when the price drops low enough, they sell the stock to recover their money. That's not some weird Robinhood, it's how buying stocks work. No, buying stocks does not force you to sell and prevent you from being able to stop that from happening. You think that's normal? Like you just get an alert on your app and they're like, we're selling for your own good. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Like, they borrowed money? Yeah, but don't you normally, can't you change that transaction or say like, I'll do it later, or change the price, the threshold? No, it's very hard to do. Nico, you shut the fuck up, okay? It was not just stocks on margin? Yeah, I hadn't heard that either. Bosh, this commentary is full of shit. God damn it. Are you 100% sure about them forcing to sell? That's what I heard from a bunch of sources. If it turns out the stocks weren't margin, that is a very big deal. Yeah, that would make it certainly more of a big deal. But wait, even if it's on margin, don't you think that maintaining the auto sell without being allowed to buy like presents a problem? Like, don't you think that's fundamentally an issue? Not every use margin can buy. We're not talking about buying. We're talking about the forced sales. Bosh, stock market regulations are complicated. They're not as simple as you make them out to be. I haven't even talked about regulations. I'm going to be triggered by... I'm going to be triggered by chat if I look at it too much. The only bad thing is the forced sell isn't verified. They did stop people from buying, though. The stopping people from buying on its own is, like, really bad, from what I've seen. If they're maintaining the sell... Let me see if I can find that damn thing again. If they're maintaining the sell without allowing people to buy, that also kind of implicitly moves the stock price for GameStop in a given direction. Hold on. A margin call happens when the value of a security falls to a certain value, and a broker has to force you to sell to recoup the value. No. If GameStop keeps rising, why would there be margin calling on people who are going long in that stock? I don't think GameStop was still rising at that point, though. I think GameStop peaked at like 380, and since then it's been like flagging near 250, right? I think that's where it's been. So it's possible that at some point it would have gone below like the trigger point. It peaked at 500? Okay.
You know, I was just thinking, it's been years now since I slept with 4 walls around me. And even longer with 4 walls and a roof. But I've never been happy.
Hold on. Let's see if we can learn more. None of this, by the way, is relevant to any of the rant that I did. If nobody can buy, all the sell does is flood the market with offers that can't be closed. This is deliberate, flooding the market to drive the share price down. Yeah, exactly. When all you can do is sell, when that's the only thing that can happen. You force the price down, which is what the hedge funds want. I can't find any news articles about the forced selling, which means it might have just been on margin. Think if I can put a little more on this. Somebody in chat compare you to fucking Sean for this take. That's because we have Destiny viewers in chat. That's really the only explanation for it. Destiny viewers are very selectively intelligent, but they're unbelievable fucking pedants when it comes to whatever they think distinguishes them from lefties. Don't you think it's more likely they freaked at headquarters because internet trolls were manipulating the market and creating a bubble so they hit the stop button? Well, yeah. Because they wanted to not lose billions of dollars. Vosh, if you should read this if you want to understand Robinhood's collateral obligations to the TCC. I just want to learn about the forced sell. That's what I want to learn about. I can't find anything about whether or not it's on margins. Well, if anybody gets any future information on that, you should definitely provide it my way. It doesn't really matter in the long term because preventing people from buying in and of itself is akin to what I would consider market manipulation. So, yeah. Can we use this to convert people to leftism? Yeah, antagonism against Wall Street is generally a good bet to moving people over to the left. Well, I'll look more into it later. Wait, I found this. Robinhood GameStop forced sale. Oh, hold on. This is from Russia Today. All right, well. After forbidding its users from buying several volatile stocks, including shares in GameStop, trading app Robinhood was allegedly caught selling its users stocks against their will and doing so hammering down their value. In light of recent volatility, we are restricting transactions for certain securities to position closing only. Due to unreasonable risk involved in brokering your position, we have closed your 4,500 shares of GME at an average price of $118.93 on the 28th of January. This is not... Is this margins? I don't think it is. Traders who attempted to cancel the sale were met with a message telling them the sale couldn't be undone as we placed to mitigate the risk of your account. You're pretty sure those are margin calls? So if if they are margin calls, you guys are saying there's nothing unethical about this? Or this is completely in line with the expected behavior of the market? Wait, I believe it wasn't margin, it was cleared funds. If you add money to your broker account, it takes a few days to clear those funds. Brokers give you loan money to use immediately. Maybe? Why are we in Russia today? Can we do a quick thing on our RT sucks? Just because a news site sucks doesn't mean that I can't take a look at the fucking tweets that are embedded in it, okay? Holy shit, I know RT is bad. If it's a margin call, it's fine? Okay. Only about half the folks I spoke to were trading on margin accounts, so the margin call argument, a justified reason for RH to force sell, doesn't hold up in every case. At this point, even if what Robinhood is doing with their forced sells is technically legal due to the terms of their user agreement, they've torched any trust with their user base. So if it turns out that half of the sells weren't margin, that would be bad. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Well, we learn what we can. That's how it works, but it's unethical? Well, sure, but we don't care what's illegal. We care what's unethical. Because things that are unethical can motivate other people to go get angry at the government. This is the exact same screenshot everyone is sharing. Seems suspicious. I cannot find more than a couple that is circulating. Okay, it's possible that people are fabricating this information. There are a lot of people who are super duper fucking mad at Robinhood, so there is definitely a motive to to fabricate shit with that regard. But we'll look more into it. Doesn't really matter. I still think it's all pretty fucked. Have you ever traded on the stock market? No. Don't mean to sound like a lib, but if Robinhood's a private platform, what's stopping them from preventing sales from certain stocks? Well, I don't know if it's legal or not, but practically speaking, so this is kind of like the, this is their corporation, their right. The problem is we're not talking about TOS bans on Twitter. We're talking about like people's ability to play on an even field with other investors. And if you have apps that are selectively banning investment in certain stocks, like this isn't just like you can't tweet anymore. This is like fundamentally the entire financial market is completely blocked. Like it's like the entire system is broken against people. I don't know if it's legal or not, but it's definitely bad. All right, we're going back to nuking AOC. Godspeed, people. Would it be okay to ask you why you decided to use Robinhood? That's what everyone else was using. I didn't like put any thought into it. Robinhood denies it, but they could be lying. Yeah, maybe. Robinhood may have also tightened up their margin requirements, which would have been a way to force sell people's stocks unethically / illegally. Yeah, if they're tightening up those margins, then that would probably be illegal? Couldn't tell you. All right, that's enough of that. Dude, Paul Joseph Watson is so fucking stupid. Look at how close he comes to the point, dude. 660 billionaires in the U.S. have grown their collective net worth by 1.1 trillion since March 2020 when the lockdown started. Their total net worth has increased by 40% in 10 months. Working class people face the worst job market in 90 years. Lockdowns equal wealth inequality. We don't have lockdowns. Most of the country doesn't have lockdowns. And this process was happening before COVID. It's not lockdowns. It's how the economy works. Yeah, he's a goober. He's a fucking goober. All right, we ready for the final bit? Get ready, folks. So it's tradition in the online left and in the online right to accuse everybody else of being a cop or a federal agent. That's like number one. We love doing it. Anytime I say it, anytime I see a woke skull on Twitter, you're CIA. Nazis accuse each other of glowing in the dark like you're a federal agent. It's how it works. You know, everyone's censoring everyone else. There is some historic precedent to this as well, because, you know, one of the big reasons the Black Panther Party got shafted was because the FBI kept putting insiders in there, and they would relate information to the federal government. And, you know, there's history to it, okay? It's a time-honored tradition. Anyway, it's rarely do we get the opportunity to just see evidence. Proud Boys leader, Enrique Tarrio, secretly cooperated with FBI and police. This is fucking good, okay? The chairman of the far-right nationalist group, which is under increasing scrutiny for its role in the Capitol riot, helped to convict more than a dozen people. Jesus Christ! That is some good shit. Now, keep in mind, the people that are getting convicted here are not Proud Boys. He's convicting everyone else. Get ready for it, okay? Enrique Tarrio, the chairman of the Proud Boys, a far-right nationalist group that is a major target of the sprawling investigation into the riot at the Capitol. Remember when I talked to that Proud Boy and he was like, there were no Proud Boys at the Capitol, dude. That's not what they're about. And then, like, we pulled up 2 Proud Boys who were arrested for invading the Capitol. And he was like, well, they weren't really Proud Boys. I mean, they are Proud Boys, but, like, not real Proud Boys, obviously. Now, like, 7 Proud Boys have been arrested for entering the Capitol. So, you know, it's so on and so forth. Keeps going. Anyway, that guy was a fucking liar. Anyway, this guy, Enrique Tarrio, has a history of cooperating with law enforcement, according to court records and a former prosecutor. The stunning revolution, Jesus Christ, I'm tired today. Revelation that Mr. Tarrio, who leads one of the country's most notorious extremist groups, helped the FBI and local police departments to go after more than a dozen criminal defendants about a decade ago, which was originally reported by Reuters. So this is fantastic for a number of reasons, okay? If you go down, you can actually see what he was getting people for. The court transcript, which documents a hearing in 2014 where Mr. Torrio sought to reduce his own sentence in a fraud case, shows that he helped law enforcement officers in his home state, Florida, to investigate and prosecute criminal enterprises, including a gambling business, a marijuana grow lab, an operation that sold anabolic steroids, and an immigrant smuggling ring. I have no fucking idea how this guy had so many hands in so many different criminal enterprises, okay? This guy, this guy's fucking, he's playing, what do they call it? That game where you have to dance on the mat to, like, touch red, left arm blue. What's it called? Twister. Dude's playing Twister over here, getting his hands up in these criminal enterprises, okay? He did not respond to messages from the New York Times, and he denied to Reuters that he had ever worked undercover or cooperated with law enforcement. I don't know any of this, he said. I don't recall any of this. Very convincing reprise. Fantastic. Anyway. It actually gets better, okay? So it talks a little bit about his criminal history. Of course, he's a criminal as well. Mr. Torrio criminal's history reaches back to at least 2004 when he was convicted of stealing a $50,000 motorcycle. In 2012, he was charged with fraud in Miami in connection with a scheme to sell loads of diabetes test kits that co-defendants had stolen from a truck in Kentucky. Okay. And was sentenced to 30 months in prison. He was kind of like the marketing person, his lawyer, Jeffrey Filer, said at the time, which is funny because he's kind of the marketing person for the Proud Boys today too, you know? It's kind of funny. Anyway, in July 2014, Mr. Filer went to court asking a federal judge to reduce Torrio's sentence, arguing that his client had cooperated in a significant way in 2 other federal cases, leading to the prosecution of 13 people. What a snitch, dude! I wonder if releasing this information puts him in jeopardy. Like, imagine being the leader of an extremist group and being like this much of a fucking rat, you know? Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty wild. Anyway, it goes on, but I love this end, okay? I love this. Mr. Torrio, wait, no, even further, sorry. The very end here, okay? While there is no evidence that Mr. Torrio has continued to help the authorities fight crime, Mr. Filer believed at the time that his client was good at it. Frankly, in all the years, which is now more than 30 that I've been doing this, his lawyer said at the hearing, I have never had a client as prolific in terms of cooperating in any respect. Dude's setting records over here with how much of a fucking snitch he is. His lawyer is like, I have never seen a guy so willing to cooperate with the feds. Incredible. And indicative, I think, of the fundamentally submissive personality traits that go along with being a fascist, submission to authority and what have you. But I wonder if this is going to lead to him being ousted from the Proud Boys. Because, so he's a huge snitch. What if he gets arrested for something Proud Boy related? How many names is he going to rattle off, you know? Like, seriously, like if he gets and now all the cops know too. Like, the prosecutors, if this guy gets arrested, he's probably gonna rat out like fucking 50 people on the way out. You know, that's pretty crazy. And this was only just made public. I imagine that the Proud Boys didn't know this beforehand. I just wonder what kind of in-group conflict. Vosh unironically calling all subs fascist. Look, all fascists have an inherently submissive personality type, but not all submissive types are fascists, okay? It's like a group within a group. Come on. Come on. No bottom shaming here, boys. Except for all the Proud Boys. You know they're doing some wacky stuff in the showers. Not that I shame. Not that I shame. Anyway, dude, any hyper-masculine boys clubs movement is going to have some weird repressed homosexuality shit going on in the locker rooms, okay? Remember their first guy. What was his name? Come on, the first guy. Come on. Gavin McInnes, yeah. Gavin McInnes, remember when he shoved that butt plug up his ass for his show? Apparently back when he was younger, like way back a decade ago, he like pissed in a bowl of cereal and ate it or something like that. I'm not kink shaming. They're into some wacky stuff. It's just, it's interesting because this behavior tends to manifest very often in very homophobic people. I don't actually know if Enrique Torrio is a homophobe. I genuinely don't. There's this new wave of fascists, I think, who are like the homo fascists. You know, they're okay with the LGBT stuff. I don't know. Some of them are lying when they say it. Some of them legitimately are fine with it. You know, it's possible to be the pro-LGBT and to be super racist, and vice versa. You know, it's pretty wild. Yeah, homofascism, the way forward. Now I will say, homofascism probably a little better than heterofascism. Think about that. You know, it's all about that incremental movement, right? It's like voting for Biden. You're just moving it, taking one step forward. Nazis literally would have killed them. Well, yeah, the homo-fascists tend to lose to the hetero-fascists down the line. Anyway, it's just pretty wild. So Godspeed, Enrique. Hopefully it doesn't cause too much tension in the movement. And yeah, I if I was a Proud Boy, I'd feel very nervous knowing how eager my leader is to rat if he gets arrested. So, yeah. Wasn't there a famously closet gay Nazi who got killed by his own party? Are you talking about the guy who was satirically depicted in Inglourious Bastards? The gay guy in not Inglourious Bastards. Jojo Rabbit. The Jojo Rabbit guy in Strom, was that the guy who was being presented in that? That's who it was, Ernst Strom. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. What a great movie. What a phenomenal movie. Jojo Rabbit. I love Jojo Rabbit so fucking much, dude. So good. Yeah. So fucking good. So funny, yeah. I said this, I have an old video on this, but I've said it before. I'll say it again. What we need is to ridicule Nazis and fascists and what have you. If you make them out to be these tyrannical, fearsome, terrifying things, not only does that fascinate people, it also makes them look way cooler than they actually were. If you actually read into how the Nazi Party operated, these are like acne-ridden, insecure, sexually emasculated, incompetent, blundering dipshits who blitzkrieged their way into like a somewhat functional military machine that would have collapsed under its own weight if the war had gone on for a few more years anyway. They were incompetent, their scientific projects and their understanding of science in general was incredibly lacking. Like, they were goofballs. They were murderous goofballs is what they were. But if you make them out to be like cold, efficient German killer, like if you make them out to be that, then what you do is you set them up to be the cool anti-heroes, which is why so many people have a fascination with the German war machine. Have you ever met guys who are like, yeah, I study history, and by study history what they mean is that they have like the fucking the internal mechanisms of a Panzer tank, like the schematics like on their wall or something, and they're like, yeah, I love history, and it's exclusively World War II military history. You know, there are people like that. Yeah, they're called Verabus. Yeah, there are a lot of people like, well, the Wehrmacht didn't actually do any war crimes. It was done by the SS, and they were just proud Germans defending their nonsense. Of course, it's all nonsense. But they have an obsession. Have you ever seen people like talk up German military engineering? So fucking cringy, dude. They're like, ah, yes, one Panzer could defeat 10 Sherman tanks, but there was always an 11th Sherman tank. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? They could though. No, they couldn't. They couldn't. Wasn't one of the main Wehrmacht tank lines like it was prone to overheating, and every once in a while there would be cabin fires underneath the seat of the pilot of the tank driver? Was that the Tiger? Yeah, like they did have jet planes before us though. They probably could have had nukes before us if they hadn't fucking killed or exiled all their Jewish engineers. Dude, they fucked up on so much shit. They were working on like, the Japanese were working on like militarized laser technology. The Germans were working on some fuck ton of crazy impractical shit. They blew billions and billions of marks on that shit, and Americans made the nukes. So we won that. They would have acquired nukes if not for a British commander raid in Norway in 1943, 1944. Oh, the Brits had the jets first? Well, I'm not a World War II military historian. I can't do that. They were working on outer atmosphere space planes to bomb the U.S. Yeah, just like shit like that. Weren't the Nazis digging a tunnel to a lost underground city of giants or something? I don't know about that. Maybe they were obsessed with the occult. I mean, it's a fact of the matter that the German government massively, or the Nazi government massively overestimated like their ability to scientifically innovate, just in a really hilarious way. You know, the Nazis believed the moon was made of ice. Dude, the Nazis rejected quantum mechanics because they thought it was Jewish science. That's true. That's true. They thought that, yeah. I'm getting flashbacks to Nick Fuentes, who disparagingly calls all scientific knowledge that he dislikes made up by Jewish lab coats and thought dinosaurs aren't real. Like, the problem is, like, the mind of the fascist is very willing to dismiss inconvenient information. There's a passage about this in, you guessed it, 1984, that war has always been the great equalizer of reality, because a totalitarian government can say that 1 + 1 = 3 to its population, but when it comes to designing an aeroplane or to producing firearms or to coordinating military tactics, 1 + 1 must equal 2. On the battlefield, the numbers have to add up. And so war is the power, it's the force that prevents fascist governments from achieving longevity. And that's generally true. Usually, fascist governments burn out because their inability to reconcile their political ideology with reality leads to massive social or political or militaristic failures. In 1984, of course, they found a way to elongate war to eternity, thus ensuring there is essentially no war. Oh, by the way, in case there are any tankies watching, the Stalinist government did the exact same thing. They didn't believe in, the Stalinist scientists didn't believe in genetics the way that we understand it to exist today, which led to incredibly detrimental research regarding crop yields and the fruitful farming of resources, which may have actually contributed to some of the famines. Yeah, Maoists were even worse. You get what I'm saying. Also, the Soviets refused to use any economic ideas considered bourgeois. Damn, dude, that's like my Twitter experience. When I say something on Twitter, when I'm on Twitter and I say, listen, markets are a function of human economic interaction. It's just a matter of appropriately relegating them. You can't ignore them. And whether it's somebody on Twitter or Joseph Stalin himself, they call me a lib and kill me. Well, Stalin would kill me. I have a feeling all the people who I argue with on Twitter are 85 pounds soaking wet, so they'd have to put up a, they'd have to give it a shot, you know. It's the feeling I get. All right, have we had enough fun? I hope so. I hope this works. I tested it before, but oh no, I'm not saying that the Stalinist, that the Stalin's government was completely ignorant of genetic science. Just that there were elements of it where they were anti-scientific. Crowd raging in YouTube chat. Wait, real? Hold on. Crowd was being super weird on Twitter the other day. I don't see Kraut. All right. I thought Kraut reformed. Nah, it's not that Kraut reformed. Kraut just super fucking hates me because I'm like friendly with Shoe on Head and Hunter Avalon and stuff. That's actually it. Kraut has spent Kraut had one conversation with me 1.5 years ago where everything went like fine and civil, and then since then he's grown increasingly antagonistic towards me. He's like called me like a pedo on Twitter, like that kind of shit, like the crazy antagonism, and I had no idea why. And yesterday I like asked him, and it was just because like I'm friendly with Shu. He kept saying that I like hypocritically absolved them of their sins when they had wronged him. He has like some weird revenge fantasy. I have no idea. It's really fucking weird. She was on Rising. Oh yeah, she was on Rising. I need to watch that. Hold on. Is the episode out? Oh yeah, then he called me an anti-Semite. All right. I'm not going to make a segment out of watching a friend. I guess well, hold on. Here we go. Okay, okay, sorry. I'm blue balling people. I'll take a peek, okay? I'll take a peek. I don't think Kraut was ever in YouTube chat, by the way. It's easy to bait me like that. Kraut is also anti-Muslim. Yeah, Kraut is actually the purest Islamophobe that I've ever talked to in my life. Like normally an Islamophobe, like they're generally a fascist or they're generally like a racist or whatever. But I think that Kraut is just very specifically and very narrowly bigoted against Muslim people, which is interesting. Kraut compared you to the Catholic Pope when he talked to Destiny. Yeah, he also called me a tanky. He's pretty weird. Yeah. What's a tanky? A tanky is a leftist that you don't like. Okay. Really quick. Really, really quick.
So on the same...
I know that... I hope Shu's not here because I know that Shu would be embarrassed by watching me watching her on Rising.
Day as the Capitol insurrection, our next guest actually questioned the people who were gathered at the National Mall about their views on the First Amendment. Shu on Head caught the reactions of Trump supporters after she asked them if burning the American flag should actually be legal. Let's watch some of the responses.
I mean, it's a First Amendment issue. If somebody wants to burn it, I suppose I support the right. I serve in the military to support people's rights to do a lot of weird things that I don't agree with.
No.
No?
No, I've served in the military. That's not what I serve for.
It's a free country. If people want to do something, then it's their right to do it as long as you're not hurting other people. I don't care what you do. Trump 2020 YouTube. It should not be legal. Not in this country. Definitely not. No? Definitely not. The person who burns the flag. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. Take it home now. It's unacceptable, period.
Literally wearing something that says the First Amendment, and he's like, no, it should be illegal. Hell no.
Hell no. I think anybody should burn the American flag should have their ass stomped.
No, I don't. No? It's disrespecting it. So disrespect should be illegal.
All right, so joining us now to discuss video, YouTuber Shu on Head herself, also known as June Lapine. Great to see you, June. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome. Hi. Thank you for having me on. Hi.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait, I'm sorry, what? This is what I mean by VDS, by the way. I made a joke about the Sheriff of Nottingham app, and he said, "You mad?" What? I was told someone asked him to bring me on. He said, "No. You were lied to. You can come on." I don't know.
Absolutely. So, you know, it's interesting. Why did you decide to go with the flag burning question? I feel like you're taking it back to like 1990s politics when that used to be a thing.
Well, in a video I did months ago, I briefly brought up when Trump brought up how he wanted to put people in jail for a year for burning the flag. He was repeating that often towards the end of his presidency. It was like a talking point he just kept bringing up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's the one who brought it up back from the 90s. But
well, he is old, so that's true. Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video about this, like this whole topic. And then at the last second, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna go to a Trump rally and get like their opinions on this. So it was like a pretty big deal because like I haven't socialized in probably like a year, and like I was like so nervous to do this. My microphone didn't work. I had to like improvise.
So Crowder said, still mad and absolutely mauling in YouTube chat. I don't know what you're referring to. Crowd, do you still have my my Discord tag, name, whatever it's called? If so, just message me. We can call.
With like a fake microphone at the last minute. Everything about it was crazy. When I first arrived, the first thing I saw when I got to my hotel was a group of like boomers outside my hotel talking, and the first thing I hear is it's going to be like 1776 again. This is going to be the second, like crazy stuff. But yeah, it was really fun to do. It was a last second thing. It was pretty spontaneous. And
by the way, in case you guys haven't seen it, the video that Shoot did was like really good. It was actually pretty funny. I don't normally like the those like meet people on the street and question them type videos because you can edit them however you want to procure a certain political narrative. But it was basically just Shu like free speech testing them, and she got a variety of answers. And at least from what I understand, I don't think she like selectively curtailed them to present a certain narrative. There were Trump supporters there that were actually in favor of free speech, and there were many who were not. But it seemed pretty honest. Yeah, I thought it was a really good video, and it was funny.
I'm really glad I did it though. I think it's an interesting topic. It's a test. It's like a free speech, freedom of speech like test to see just how truly into the First Amendment you are.
And here's the thing that I liked about it is I feel like a lot of people would have just taken the like worst possible responses and put that into a video and be like, see, these people are all totally crazy. Yeah. But you actually got, and I mean, some of them were, right? Truly crazy and like they should be hung and they should be shot and all this stuff. But you really got a very broad range of responses. Everything from like what I would clearly consider to be the right answer that like, look, I may not like it, but it's totally their right to do it. And in fact, I served in the military to defend that right, to, you know, the people who were really reactionary and like, no, they should be hung and shot and all of that. Were you surprised by the responses? Did you have an expectation going in as to what the sort of like overwhelming vibe would be?
Yeah, so I was a little biased. I thought they would all be like, you know, throw him in jail, just because it was something Trump said. But I was actually pleasantly surprised at how many.
Wait, are we doing this? Right, you said on Twitter. Don't have me out like that. You're still in chat. Do you not have my Discord thing? It's Vosh hashtag 5559. You can just add that as a friend. I don't know why we didn't add each other as friends before. How long ago did we talk? Like a year and a half ago? A good long while, that's for sure.
How many people were like, you know what, I don't like it, but it's your right to do it. I support it. I wouldn't do it, but I still support your freedom of speech. And what was interesting is a lot of the veterans were the people. I know there was one veteran who said he didn't like it, but most of the time the veterans were like, oh, I fought for your right to do that. But the people who weren't veterans would like use veterans as an excuse to be like, oh, they fought for this country, so you can't burn the flag. It was really interesting. Like, veterans were their shield, yet actual veterans were like, no, it's fine. You should burn the flag. I fought for that right. It's very, very interesting.
That is actually really interesting.
No, I mean, it actually makes a lot. You see,
that makes sense. Yeah, people, you know, it's like the people who say like, kneeling for the flag is disrespectful because the people died for that flag. Those people usually haven't served a day in their life. The military is not nearly as right-leaning as a lot of people might expect. I mean, there were plenty of conservatives in the military, absolutely, but it's nowhere near as disproportional as it is with like cops. Also, vets aren't usually so shameless as to weaponize their status in that way. Not to the same extent, at least, you know?
You see with cops, you see with a lot of different, you know, communities that people want to hold up and then to be like, well, what about this? Even though they're not actually ever talking to them. And yeah, I mean, that's my real question here, which is that it's like you said, you expected one thing and you got something different. What did that? How did that change your perception of some of the people there? They've been painted obviously one way. Some of the people who did some terrible things, obviously. But what was your overall impression of the entire gathering?
Well, the whole thing, the rally, there was a lot of like normal people there. I know that that whole rally was kind of painted as this insurrection because of what happened towards the end of it, but there was just a bunch of normal people there too. And honestly, like all the Trump supporters are different. There's the more libertarian leaning ones, and then there's more,
Oh, crowd actually did friend request. Hold on. I don't have an issue with Shu's rhetoric here, by the way. The Rising's audience tends to be very like center to center conservative, or at least it's very mixed. And much in the way that with Tim Pool, you have to open in good faith. I think saying stuff like, I think not every Trump supporter there was super crazy murder piece of shit. There were more normal people there. I think that's fine. I don't mind people going on shows like The Rising. It depends on the message they push. All right. I like Kraut's little bird. All right, Kraut, I'm calling. On a slur when I say it. Reference to you.
Good morning.
Good evening over here. What's up, my dude?
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Come on. Will you take my confession?
In
this confession booth.
I really don't have the power to absolve people the way you were implying before.
But you did kind of run the PR campaign, don't you? I mean, that is basically what your brand is. A rebranding apparatus.
My brand is mostly debating people. I think that how many former skeptics have I talked to? Like 3, 4? We have Shu, well, Hunter wasn't a skeptic, but still. We have Josephine Matthias, Chris Raygun, but who beyond that? I mean, that can't be the entirety of my content.
By thou words, they are now absolved of everything they've done. I mean, this is the reality of how it is perceived. Suddenly, they are now new people, leftists. I mean, I don't have as much of a problem with Chris Raygun, but, there are probably some people who do. But what gives you the authority to declare these people...
Why are you talking like that?
New people.
But I'm not too...
Because it's in the morning.
I just talk with them. Why are you being weird?
I'm not being weird. You're the one being weird.
We talked. Hold on. So for full context, like we talked last night, and I'm interested because even though I think we had a decently civil convo like 2 years ago, you've gone from that to like shit talking me relentlessly, and not just shit talking me, but calling me like a tanky, calling me like a pedophile and like a groomer, like really weird shit like that. And I don't know why.
I don't think I called you a pedophile.
Yeah, I seen some of your tweets. You kind of implied it pretty heavily. I'd say,
well, it is true that you said some weird messages to random girls.
No,
I mean that is more like it's more funny than anything.
Random girls. I was friends with girls who I acted creepy to like 4 years ago, but that's like a super out and about
clip
address.
Of you saying that this Sargon thing that male feminists are just out there to creep on women. That clip of you saying, "Yeah, that's true. I got so much pussy in university."
What are you talking about?
By telling, well, that clip of you is out there.
There was a clip where I don't remember the specific context, but somebody said that guys are only feminists to get pussy, and I said afterwards, in a fairly jovial way, that actually, yes, being a feminist does make it easier to relate to women.
Just a meme.
I said it in a joking way, but I mean it. It's true. I think that being nice and understanding women's issues does make it easier.
Please make the case to me. I would like to have that case now.
We've moved off the point a bit. But anyway,
how much has Schuenhead joined? Yes, please add your narration to the soup. But how much? Please make the case, dear lawyer. How much has Schuenhead changed? How much